Have you ever felt that pang of remorse after revealing something deeply personal, wishing you could take back the words? As we journey through life, we accumulate not only cherished memories, but also a profound understanding that some truths are best held close to our hearts. In this video, we are going to reveal 6 crucial things you should seriously consider keeping private from your family, particularly as you navigate the golden years. If you're watching this video, comment "interesting" below. These aren't secrets born of deceit, but rather acts of self-preservation, designed to safeguard your inner peace, maintain your dignity, and nurture the precious bonds you share with your loved ones. Stay with me until the very end, because grasping these insights could spare you from needless heartache and even fortify the connections you hold dear. 1. The weight of yesterday's mistakes, guarding your deepest regrets. One of the most significant, yet often underestimated, aspects of aging is the accumulation of life experiences, both the triumphant highs and the inevitable lows. With the passage of time, it's natural to reflect on the paths taken and those left unexplored, leading to the emergence of personal regrets. While the urge to unburden ourselves by sharing these misgivings with family might feel compelling, especially in the hope of finding solace or closure, it's a revelation that can inadvertently cast long shadows over your relationships. Imagine, for instance, a scenario involving Helen, a vibrant 72-year-old from Chicago. Helen, now enjoying her retirement, often thinks back to a career opportunity she declined in her younger years, a decision that, in hindsight, she believes would have led to greater professional fulfillment. On a quiet afternoon, while chatting with her daughter, Melissa, Helen shares this deep-seated regret. Initially, Melissa offers comforting words, but over time, this revelation subtly alters their dynamic. Melissa, now in her early 40s and facing her own career crossroads, begins to question her own choices, wondering if she, too, might be making decisions she'll later lament. Helen's regret, intended as a moment of vulnerability, inadvertently plants a seed of doubt in her daughter's mind. Similarly, consider the case of George, an 80-year-old residing in Miami. George occasionally reflects on a past disagreement with his brother, a rift that remained unresolved for many years. In a moment of emotional openness with his grandson, David, George shares the pain and regret he still carries. David, a young man who always admired the strong bond between his grandfather and great-uncle, is deeply affected by this revelation. He starts to view his grandfather not just as a wise elder, but also as someone carrying a heavy burden of unresolved conflict. This knowledge subtly shifts David's perception, tinging his admiration with a sense of melancholy. The crux of the matter is that when we, as parents or elders, unveil our deepest regrets, particularly to our children or younger relatives, it can reshape their perception of us and even their own lives. A father confessing his wish for a different career path might inadvertently make his children question the validity of their own professional pursuits. A mother admitting regret over a past relationship or a pivotal life decision could unintentionally lead her children to wonder if their very existence is a consequence of those past choices, rather than a result of love and deliberate intention. The emotional weight of knowing that someone they admire has lived with profound disappointment can be unsettling for family members. It can alter the family's dynamic, transforming admiration into sorrow and gratitude into a sense of guilt. Children might feel powerless to alter the past, yet burdened by the knowledge of their loved ones' enduring unhappiness. In some cases, they might even internalize these regrets, subconsciously feeling as though their own lives are somehow linked to a past misfortune, rather than being valued for their own unique journey. Furthermore, an excessive focus on past regrets can detract from the beauty of the present. When conversations are frequently dominated by what-ifs, should-haves, and wish it were different, it creates an atmosphere of sadness and longing, overshadowing the appreciation for the moments still unfolding. Family members might inadvertently feel as though their presence isn't enough to bring joy, as if the time spent together is constantly being compared to a lost ideal rather than being cherished for what it is. Instead of fostering stronger family bonds, the oversharing of regrets can unintentionally create distance. Conversations might become heavier, interactions tinged with sorrow rather than warmth. Loved ones might feel like they are shouldering a burden that was never meant for them to carry. Rather than feeling understood and comforted, the person sharing their regrets might find themselves feeling more isolated, trapped in a cycle of reliving the past instead of embracing the precious time they have left. It's crucial to understand that this isn't about suppressing your truth or denying the existence of regrets. It's about recognizing that certain emotions and reflections are best processed privately or with individuals who can offer objective guidance without the potential for unintended familial consequences. There is undeniable strength in discretion, wisdom in restraint, and profound peace in knowing that the most significant aspects of life aren't always the ones spoken aloud, but those carefully preserved within. If you find this point insightful, please comment reflective wisdom below. 2. The delicate dance of dollars, navigating financial disclosures. Financial matters, while undeniably personal, possess a significant influence on the fabric of our relationships. While honesty is undoubtedly a cornerstone of trust, there exists a subtle yet crucial distinction between healthy transparency and oversharing, particularly when it comes to discussions about finances within a family. The manner in which financial information, whether it pertains to hardship or prosperity, is shared can have enduring and sometimes unforeseen repercussions on family dynamics. Consider the scenario of Robert, a 68-year-old from Denver, who recently faced unexpected medical expenses. In conversations with his adult children, he frequently expresses his anxieties about these mounting costs and his concerns about his retirement savings. While Robert's intentions are to be open and honest, his constant worries begin to weigh heavily on his children. His daughter, Sarah, a young professional just starting her career, feels an increasing pressure to contribute financially, even though it strains her own budget. His son, Michael, who has a family of his own, starts to feel guilty about his own financial stability, while his father struggles. What began as Robert simply voicing his concerns gradually instills a sense of worry and obligation in his children, potentially impacting their own financial well-being and creating a dynamic where familial love becomes intertwined with financial strain. Conversely, let's consider the case of Margaret, a successful 75-year-old entrepreneur from Los Angeles. Margaret enjoys the fruits of her hard work and often shares details about her investments and financial successes with her extended family. While there's nothing inherently wrong with being proud of one's achievements, Margaret's frequent disclosures inadvertently create unrealistic expectations among some of her relatives. Her nephew, David, a young man who has struggled to find stable employment, begins to develop a sense of entitlement, subtly hinting at his need for financial assistance, assuming that his wealthy aunt will naturally provide for him. This can lead to a dynamic of dependency, where certain family members start to rely on the expectation of financial support rather than striving for their own independence. Furthermore, disparities in wealth within a family, even when not explicitly discussed, can breed underlying tensions. Siblings who perceive an imbalance in financial circumstances might start to compare themselves to one another, leading to feelings of envy, rivalry, or resentment. Discussions surrounding inheritances, loans, or financial gifts can further complicate these relationships, as differing expectations and perceived favoritism can ignite conflicts that erode family harmony. Ultimately, while financial matters are an intrinsic part of life, they demand a careful and considered approach within family discussions. Transparency has its place, particularly with a spouse or trusted partner, but it should always be tempered with discretion when interacting with a wider family. The way financial struggles or successes are communicated can profoundly shape family dynamics, influencing relationships for years to come. Choosing words judiciously, focusing on imparting financial wisdom rather than dwelling on burdens or fostering entitlements, and maintaining a spirit of encouragement rather than expectation can be instrumental in preserving both emotional and financial equilibrium within a family. If you agree with this perspective, comment financial wisdom below. I believe you're thoroughly enjoying this video and finding these insights valuable. Before we continue to uncover more crucial secrets, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if it's resonating with you, and share it with your friends and family who might also benefit from this wisdom. Your support allows us to keep creating content that matters. Comment wonderful below if you're finding this video helpful. Now, let's delve into our next point. 3. The minefield of opinions, exercising caution with family judgments. Family relationships are intricate tapestries woven with shared histories, deep-seated emotions, and long-established dynamics that have evolved over the course of a lifetime. Within these close-knit circles, it can be incredibly tempting to voice personal opinions about certain family members, particularly during moments of frustration, disappointment, or heightened emotional intensity. When we feel strongly about someone's behavior, choices, or even their life path, Sharing those thoughts with another trusted family member can feel like a natural release, a way to find validation or simply to vent our feelings. However, what might seem like a harmless expression of opinion in the heat of the moment can have far-reaching and long-lasting consequences that extend far beyond the immediate conversation. Words, once spoken, possess an undeniable power. They cannot be retracted, and they have the potential to shape perceptions and relationships in ways that might not be immediately apparent but can unfold over time, often proving difficult, if not impossible, to mend. One of the most significant risks associated with openly voicing strong opinions about a family member is the potential for division and discord it can sow within the family unit. A seemingly innocuous statement of disappointment regarding a son-in-law's career choices, a harsh critique of a sibling's parenting style, or a moment of frustration directed towards an adult child's lifestyle can linger in the minds of those who hear it, even if those opinions are shared in the strictest confidence. Consider, for instance, the scenario involving Patricia, a 78-year-old grandmother from Phoenix. Patricia has strong traditional values and often finds herself disagreeing with her granddaughter, Emily's, unconventional career path as a freelance artist. During a private conversation with her daughter, Susan, Patricia expresses her concerns and doubts about Emily's long-term financial stability. While Patricia intends for this to be a private expression of worry, Susan, perhaps unintentionally or in a moment of shared frustration, mentions Patricia's concerns to another family member. Eventually, these sentiments find their way back to Emily, leaving her feeling judged and misunderstood by her grandmother. Even though Patricia's intentions might have stemmed from love and concern, her expressed opinion creates a rift in her relationship with Emily, leading to feelings of resentment and distance. Similarly, let's take the example of Richard, a 70-year-old from Atlanta who is often critical of his younger brother, Michael's, laid-back approach to life. During a family gathering, Richard confides in his sister-in-law, Karen, expressing his opinion that Michael isn't taking his responsibilities seriously enough. Karen, caught in the middle, feels uncomfortable with Richard's judgment. Over time, Karen's interactions with Michael become subtly strained, colored by the knowledge of Richard's negative opinion. This creates an awkward dynamic within the family, where Michael senses a shift in Karen's demeanor without fully understanding the underlying cause, potentially damaging their relationship as well. The reality is that even when opinions are voiced out of concern rather than malice, they have a tendency to spread, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes in ways we could never have anticipated. A seemingly private sentiment shared with one family member can easily be relayed to another, and eventually it might reach the very person it was about, often amplified or distorted in the process. This can lead to hurt feelings, misunderstandings, and the erosion of trust within the family. This is precisely why discretion becomes such an invaluable tool in nurturing and maintaining strong family bonds. Choosing to withhold certain opinions doesn't equate to being dishonest or inauthentic. Rather, it signifies a mindful awareness of the profound weight our words carry and the potential impact they can have on the delicate fabric of family relationships. Healthy relationships necessitate careful navigation, and not every fleeting thought or moment of frustration needs to be verbalized. There is immense power in restraint, in recognizing that while honesty is a vital component of any relationship, it must always be carefully balanced with consideration for how our words will be received and how they will ultimately shape the relationships we hold most dear. If you value thoughtful communication within your family, comment thoughtful words below. 4. The shifting focus, navigating health-centric conversations. As we gracefully age, discussions surrounding health and well-being naturally tend to become more frequent. After all, our bodies undergo changes. New health challenges might arise, and prioritizing medical concerns becomes an increasingly important aspect of life. However, when health becomes the dominant and almost exclusive focus of every conversation with family members, it can subtly yet significantly alter how they perceive and interact with us. When younger family members consistently hear about ailments, doctor's appointments, medications, or physical limitations, they might, perhaps without even consciously realizing it, begin to perceive their aging relatives as fragile or dependent. Where they once viewed their elders as strong, wise, and capable individuals, they might start to approach interactions with a sense of heightened concern, excessive caution, or even a subtle undercurrent of pity. This shift in perception is rarely intentional or mean-spirited. In most cases, it stems from genuine love and a desire to ensure the well-being of their loved one. However, even with the best intentions, this change in dynamic can have unintended consequences. Consider the example of Walter, a 76-year-old from Seattle who has been experiencing some age-related health issues. During every phone call with his daughter, Lisa, the conversation invariably revolves around his latest doctor's visit, his new medications, or his aches and pains. While Lisa loves her father and wants to be supportive, she starts to feel like their entire relationship has become solely focused on his health. She begins to approach their conversations with a sense of obligation rather than the joy of simply connecting with her dad. Walter, in turn, might feel increasingly defined by his health issues, potentially leading to a sense of diminished identity beyond his physical state. Similarly, imagine Carol, an 82-year-old from Dallas, who frequently discusses her various health concerns with her grandchildren. While her grandchildren care deeply for her, the constant focus on her ailments can sometimes make them feel helpless or even a little overwhelmed. They might start to subtly avoid lengthy conversations, not out of a lack of love, but because they feel ill-equipped to handle the constant stream of health-related updates and worries. This can inadvertently lead to feelings of isolation for Carol, even though her intention was simply to keep her family informed. It's crucial to strike a balance between sharing necessary health updates with loved ones and ensuring that health does not become the sole defining aspect of your interactions. While it's important to communicate significant health changes or needs for support, conversations should also continue to encompass laughter, shared memories, stories about your life experiences, discussions about your hobbies, interests, and meaningful life experiences that continue to enrich your life. By maintaining a well-rounded dialogue that extends beyond health concerns, we reinforce the vital idea that we are multifaceted individuals with rich histories, valuable insights, and ongoing contributions to make to the family dynamic, rather than being solely defined by our physical condition. If you agree that a balanced conversation is key, comment balanced dialogue below. 5. The burden of worry, managing fear and anxiety in conversations. Fear is an intrinsic part of the human experience, and it's particularly natural for anxieties to surface as we navigate the later stages of life. Worries about the aging process, potential loneliness, declining health, or even the state of the world at large are understandable, and expressing these concerns can be a normal and healthy part of our emotional processing. However, when our conversations become consistently dominated by fear, anxiety, and negative predictions, it can inadvertently place a significant emotional weight on those around us, potentially straining relationships and creating an atmosphere of unease. Loved ones, whether they are our children, grandchildren, or other family members, naturally want to provide reassurance and support when we express our fears. However, they may also feel helpless if they lack the solutions to the problems we are voicing. Over time, if our interactions consistently revolve around worries and negative potential outcomes, family members might begin to approach conversations with a sense of obligation or even dread, rather than with genuine joy and anticipation. Instead of looking forward to visits or phone calls, they might subconsciously start to brace themselves for another discussion filled with distressing concerns and anxieties. Consider the example of Helen, an 85-year-old from Boston who often expresses her fears about living alone and her anxieties about her future health. While her son, Tom, cares deeply for his mother, their phone conversations frequently revolve around Helen's worries. Tom tries his best to offer comfort and practical solutions, but the constant negativity begins to take an emotional toll on him. He starts to feel drained after their calls, and sometimes finds himself hesitating before answering the phone, not out of a lack of love, but because he anticipates another conversation filled with anxiety. Similarly, take the case of Samuel, a 79-year-old from San Diego, who is increasingly worried about the state of the world and often shares his concerns about political instability and economic uncertainty with his grandchildren. While his grandchildren acknowledge his concerns, the constant barrage of negative news and anxieties can leave them feeling overwhelmed and even a little hopeless. They might start to steer conversations towards lighter topics or find excuses to shorten their visits, not because they don't care, but because they feel ill-equipped to constantly address such heavy and often unresolvable issues. True inner strength doesn't stem from ignoring our fears or pretending they don't exist. Instead, it comes from acknowledging those fears while consciously choosing not to let them overshadow the present moment and the positive aspects of our lives. By consciously focusing on moments of joy, expressing gratitude for what we have, and engaging in shared experiences, we can ensure that our relationships remain rooted in warmth, connection, and mutual support, rather than being dominated by anxiety and worry. It's about finding a balance between acknowledging our concerns and actively cultivating a positive outlook that we can share with our loved ones. If you believe in the power of positive connection, comment positive outlook below. 6. The ghosts of yesterday's loves, proceeding with caution on past romantic entanglements. As we reflect on a life well lived, our memories often encompass a rich tapestry of relationships, including those of a romantic nature. While sharing aspects of our past can foster intimacy and understanding, there's a delicate area that often warrants careful consideration before being revealed to family, particularly our children and grandchildren. The details of past romantic relationships, especially those involving infidelity or significant heartbreak that occurred long ago. Unearthing these past entanglements, even with the intention of being completely transparent or perhaps seeking some form of belated validation or forgiveness, can unexpectedly stir up complex emotions and potentially reshape how family members view us and even their own parents' relationship. Children, regardless of their age, often hold a particular image of their parents and grandparents, and revelations about past infidelities or deeply painful romantic episodes can shatter those long-held perceptions, leading to confusion, hurt, and even a sense of betrayal. Consider the scenario of Vivian, a 70-year-old widow from Orlando. Years after her husband passed away, Vivian feels a desire to share a long-held secret with her adult daughter, Olivia, that she had a brief affair many years ago. While Vivian might feel that sharing this will bring her closer to her daughter, or perhaps alleviate some lingering guilt, Olivia could be deeply affected by this revelation. It might cause her to question the foundation of her parents' marriage, leading to feelings of anger, sadness, or even a re-evaluation of her own understanding of love and commitment. Similarly, imagine the case of Charles, a 75-year-old grandfather from Houston. Charles occasionally reflects on a past romantic relationship from his youth that ended badly, leaving him with significant heartache. In a moment of nostalgia, he shares the intimate details of this relationship with his grandson, Michael. While Charles might intend to impart a lesson about the complexities of love, Michael, who has always seen his grandfather as a pillar of strength and unwavering in his commitment to his wife, might be unsettled by this glimpse into his grandfather's past vulnerability and heartbreak. It could subtly alter his perception of his grandfather, perhaps even making him question the stability of his own family relationships. While honesty is generally valued, there are certain aspects of our romantic past that might be best left as personal reflections. Sharing details of past infidelities can inflict unnecessary pain on our children, potentially damaging their image of their parents and even impacting their own relationships. Similarly, dwelling on past heartbreaks, especially in vivid detail, can sometimes cast a shadow over the present and might not serve any constructive purpose for our family members. It's about discerning what truly needs to be shared for connection and understanding versus what might inadvertently cause emotional distress or alter familial perceptions in a negative way. Sometimes, the most loving act is to carry certain burdens privately, protecting our loved ones from unnecessary emotional turmoil and preserving the positive memories and foundations of our family relationships. If you agree that some romantic history is best kept private, comment private matters below. Discretion, as we've explored, isn't about building walls or fostering secrecy within our families. It's about cultivating wisdom in our communication, understanding when and how to share in ways that ultimately strengthen our relationships rather than unintentionally complicating them. Whether it pertains to the weight of past regrets, the intricacies of financial matters, the potential pitfalls of voicing opinions, the shifting focus on health, the burden of anxieties, or the delicate nature of past romantic entanglements, careful consideration of what we choose to reveal ensures that our relationships remain rooted in trust, respect, and genuine connection. Ultimately, the strongest family bonds are built not just on unwavering honesty, but also on profound wisdom, heartfelt kindness, and the ability to navigate the complexities of life with grace and thoughtful restraint. We've now explored 6 important aspects of our lives that are often best kept private from family, not out of deception, but as acts of self-preservation to protect your peace, maintain your dignity, and nurture the precious bonds you share. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 6 points resonated with you the most? Share one key takeaway from this video in the comments below. Let's continue to learn and grow together as a community. Before you go, Make sure you smash that like button if you found this video insightful. Share it with anyone who might benefit from this wisdom. And definitely subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content like this. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And before you click away, be sure to check out some of our other fascinating videos right here on the channel. You might just discover your next favorite watch. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.